Good morning, Patriot pals. Thank you for joining me. Have a good day and God bless you. Let's get into the news. And of course, the House decided to go ahead and release President Trump's tax returns over the last 6 years. And what we found out is that he'd lost millions of dollars while being president. And there were some years that he didn't have to pay anything. And it's a big nothing burger. So what we have here, of course, again, it's the left's obsession with President Trump and his tax returns. And when they released to all the leftists on Twitter, absolutely went crazy for it. And then it turned out, there was nothing there for them to go crazy about, but they still wanted to tax returns. Hey, we needed them, and they got them. So this sets a precedent moving forward. From here on out, it looks like it's going to be allowed to go ahead and dig into any politician, especially president, and release their tax returns, even if they don't want them released. So this is going to be moving forward. And we can examine every single thing about it. This is what the left has been moving toward, but hopefully the right will learn how to actually utilize their new power and make them pay the way they tried to do with President Trump. And of course, also coming on the heels of his tax returns, the January 6th Unselect Committee dropped your subpoena of Trump. I thought they had him this time. That they say they kept saying that they had him, Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney and all these losers who were on this panel. Oh, we got Trump. We got Trump. But why did you drop his subpoena? Interesting. So let's go and dive into what we have here. It says breaking corrupt Pelosi in the House dropped Trump's tax returns, resulting in one big nothing burger. Of course, it wasn't nothing burger. We all knew this. The corrupt Democrats in the House just destroyed President Trump's right to privacy and released President Trump's tax returns months ago. Unfortunately, they failed again in their goal and only prove their contempt for the U.S. Constitution. What a disgusting pack of jackals in Pelosi gang is. They have no regard for law, the U.S. Constitution, or decency. Remember, there is nothing in the Constitution that says that a politician needs to release their tax returns. It was just something that started in recent American history by them releasing their tax returns. Because it's a right to privacy, obviously, right? You have certain rights under the U.S. Constitution, even running for office, and you still have certain rights that you should adhere to and in value, right? But for the left, it's all about destroying their opponent, no matter what. If it means shredding the Constitution of the United States, and they will shred it, they don't care. And then they will feign outrage if you suggest that, hey, maybe we should go ahead and suspend parts of the Constitution in order to fix the things that need to be fixed right now. Because obviously things are not working the way they should be working. And there needs to be a remedy for that. But the Democrats don't want to do well, they want to do that. But they'll go and shred the Constitution. And maybe we'll cheer them on. But if anybody else on the other side suggests the same thing, my gosh, I can't believe it. Eric, and democracy, have I am against democracy? Absolutely. We live in a constitutional republic. We don't live in a democracies where the loudest voice wins. And that's not how the United States was conceived. We are conceived in a constitutional republic. Republic, right. Anyway, it says the moment to go to Democrats released President Trump's taxes to their media. CNN, to Democrats' favorite news source, shared a new set 6 years of Donald Trump's federal tax returns released on Friday. So the former president paid very little federal income tax, the first and last year of his presidency, claiming huge losses that helped limit his tax bill. The returns, long shrouded in secrecy, were released to the public on Friday by the House Ways and Means Committee, the compilation of the battle over the disclosure that went to the Supreme Court. They confirm a report issued from the Joint Committee of Taxation that Trump claimed large losses before and throughout his presidency, that he carried forward to reduce or practically estimated his tax or eliminate his tax burden. For example, his returns show that he carried $105 million loss in 2015 and a $73 million loss in 2016. The current members of the U.S. House, led by crooked Nancy Pelosi, who released these taxes in a last-minute dig at President Trump, prepared a memo they released as well. The highlights of the reporting included on their 2015 federal return. Trump and his wife declared negative income of $31.7 million with taxable income of zero. The couple paid federal income taxes of $641,000. The 2016 return declared negative income of $31 million. With zero of taxable income. To Trump's paid $750 in taxes. The 2017 return declared negative income of $12.8 million with zero in taxable income. The couple paid $750 in taxes. 2018 return declare a total income of $24 million with a taxable income of $22 million. The Trumps paid almost $1 million in federal tax returns. In 2019, Trump declared $4.4 million in total income with a $2.97 in taxable income. They paid $133,000. The 2020 income return shows negative income of $4.6 million with $0 in taxable income. The tax paid by the Trumps was only zero, and they claim a refund of $5.47 million. And of course, if you want to see the House report, it's right here. It will be clicked, it will be linked in the description. The returns prepared by President Trump's accountants must have been huge, yet they found nothing. Of course, they knew it was nothing, it was just another way for them to try to smear Trump, and that was their entire goal. And then some significant news. What was it, last year, maybe the year before, a winter storm hit Texas? Well, kind of hard to call it a real winter storm. It snowed in Texas and it looked like this. And of course, this is what the real aftermath of a winter storm looks like. But anyways, it snowed in Texas, a weather anomaly. Clearly, Texas doesn't exactly have the infrastructure to deal with this kind of thing to escape the winter storm and bring his family on a trip to Mexico. Pretty bad timing. No one's gonna argue any of that. But the outrage from the left was immense. I mean, based on the outrage, you think that Ted Cruz's father nature of the storm was directly his fault and all the people that were lost? Because I think 29 people died, if I'm not mistaken. Well, based on the leftist outrage, you would believe that the individuals who perished during that storm, it didn't happen to them because of a weather anomaly. Ted Cruz murdered them. They were murdered. Okay, it was the biggest of big deals. Everyone kept going on and on and on and on about how much a bad person Ted Cruz is and how he should be condemned, how he should resign, and how everything was his fault, even though he's not the governor of Texas. He's a senator. But anyways, we know the standard, or at least the double standard, because of course, as you guys are following, another deadly winter storm hits multiple states. And would you look at that, two high-profile Democrats. The mayor of New York City, and guess what, the President of the United States decided it would be a perfect time, great timing to head to the Caribbean, considering how much a big deal it was when Ted Cruz did it. I'm paying attention and I'm trying to find the leftist outrage. I'm listening really closely here. Yeah. Of course, the double standard, the hypocrisy rules for the but not for me. Let me show you guys what's going on. Let's get into it, folks. Let's roll the tape. Biden heads to St. Croix as winter blast kills dozens, cancels 10,000 flights. President Joe Biden left the White House Tuesday night for a tropical vacation in St. Croix to bring in the new year as much of the country deals with extreme cold and snowfall that has killed at least 65 people and canceled 10,000 flights since Christmas Eve. 80-year-old commander-in-chief will bask in the Caribbean sun near an in-ground pool in a 3-bedroom beachfront villa with sweeping views on the largest of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Meanwhile, travel chaos. Widespread power outages and rising deaths caused by single-digit weather continues across the Middle East and East Coast. But especially in western New York, where at least 32 people died in Buffalo's Erie County amid more than 4 feet of snow. It's unclear who owns the vacation property or whether Biden will be paying for his stake. Yeah, right. It's another one of those slick campaign contributions. Though he has a long record of staying for free in houses of wealthy Democratic donors. The homeowner declined to identify themselves or disclosed whether Biden will pay when contacted through the real estate company that handles leasing. And I look, stories like these, for the most part, I'll be honest, I don't really care. I'm not the one who's going to be condemning Joe Biden for going on vacation with his family for the new year. Of course not. I don't care. I'd probably do the same thing. But it's more of the leftist hypocrisy of it all. Because, you know, If Donald Trump did this, it'd be the biggest friggin' deal. When Ted Cruz did this, it was the friggin' end of the world. And that right there is what I find frustrating. There is no consistent standard when it comes to the left-wing mob. It's rules for the but not for me. And that I find incredibly frustrating, the constant hypocrisy of it all. You know, I'm not a hypocrite on this issue. Not only am I not really calling Joe Biden now because, like I said, I don't care. But I didn't defend or really condemn Ted Cruz at the time of that whole ordeal. Again, I just don't care. All I really care about is the manipulative tactics that the left uses, and just the ideological inconsistency of it all. I mean, Ted Cruz is a Texas senator. He's a lawmaker. He votes on legislation and presents legislation. He's not the governor or in charge of disaster relief, like Greg Abbott and other state officials, but it was the biggest deal when he took his family to Mexico. Now you have the commander-in-chief and, of course, Pete Buttigieg, both of which seem totally Mia, as 10,000 flights are cancelled and his people are literally losing their lives during a devastating winter storm. And we don't hear a peep from the left because they're dishonest partisan goons. You know, I think it's a great question. We know where Joe Biden is. Where in the heck is Pete Buttigieg, Mr. Transportation Secretary, and where's the outrage when it comes to Mayor Eric Adams? New York City Mayor Eric Adams defends Virgin Islands trip as city prepared for a winter storm of, everyone listen to this. Well, every mayor traveled away. I deserve private time. I'm a believer that I deserve to walk out of the building without reporter hiding behind I in a flower pot without someone following me. I deserve a moment to really de-escalate. And there will be many days that my body and my mind is going to tell me, Eric, you need to get away. Nowhere in the city charter does it state I have to report to the New York City press when my worry about TSA, and I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to apologize for having a mental and physical capacity that's needed to do the second most difficult job in politics in America. All of you who covered me in a press, you know which I my day start no time they can you tell me another man that has had that level of rope that I have. Okay folks? Again? I don't care, there's probably some qualified people to do the job while he's gone, but I'm just waiting for the leftist outrage. How could you possibly abandon us during this time? Eric the First was murdered. Eric, the weather is your fault, Eric. But of course, like usual from these absolutely disingenuous left boys, not a single friggin' word. There is no more dishonest, disingenuous, vicious partisan group out there. It doesn't exist, you know. They point the finger constantly. Donald Trump colluded with the Russians. Then it turns out that Hillary Clinton's campaign actually colluded with the Russian spy to fabricate this narrative that Donald Trump was a Manchurian candidate. It turns out that actually your candidate colluded with the Russians, but the whole colluding with Russia thing really only matters if Donald Trump's involved or supposedly involved, and definitely not involved. It's just one big massive lie. Donald Trump tried blackmailing the Ukrainians to get dirt on Joe Biden. He must be impeached. Even though Donald Trump didn't exactly do that at all. Meanwhile, Joe Biden literally blackmailed the Ukrainians into firing a prosecutor that was investigating his son by threatening to withhold defense aid. But of course, there's only outrage when Donald Trump does it. It's endless on every single friggin' issue. The rules only apply if you have an R next to your name. I mean, the party is constantly lecturing us about privilege. It seems as though the only privilege that really exists is Democrat privilege, constant sanctimony and virtue signaling and faux outrage, the constant hypocrisy. It's all just so insufferable. It's the perfect word. The modern left is so incredibly insufferable. So disingenuous. The double standards are just infuriating. Actually, here's the perfect example. CNN Politics reports the Bidens make an island escape ahead of consequential 2024 announcement. Could you imagine what that headline would be if it was Donald Trump evil? Hitler terrorist Donald Trump abandons America during a deadly winter storm that kills millions. He's a literal murderer as he heads to the Virgin Islands to plan as in some direction. Obviously, I'm being hyperbolic, but you get the point. It's all just so annoying. Thank you for watching the video. Give me your thoughts below. And hit subscribe right now. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching the video. I wish you a good day.